Hey, everybody. It's like Count Jackula, your favorite stand streamer, uh, talking to you live through the power of YouTube and the rest of the internet. And you have been listening to the song Aphids by Graham Reynolds and the Golden Arm Trio from the Scanner Darkly soundtrack. Um, I was reminded a while back that, like, I really wanted to do a Scanner Darkly video about Scanner Darkly with my friend who did another YouTube review show called The Obscure, in which he played like a beatnik. And the whole idea was to get us in a couple of locations and just act like crackheads. With the excuse being that we were going to review A Scanner Darkly, because it's a movie that me, Horror Guru, and The Obscure all loved. We never got to make that one. We never got to make it. You know, I remember some of the highlights from the idea was going to be we were going to recreate the first scene where Frick is trying to get all these aphids off of him. That was going to be The Obscure. We're going to have him do that. And the other one, we were going to recreate the hammer sequence with me as Robert Downey Jr. And the other, what was the other one? The other was one of the major scenes of the movie. Oh, right. We were also going to do like the Frick tries to commit suicide scene, but we never did decide who the eighth dimensional alien should be. Maybe it should have been like Mass Slasher or something, because I wouldn't want to put Count Jackula in that role if I'm also going to be playing Count Jackula as Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? But maybe I could have done it as Mass Slasher. Hey, Frick, better eat your sins. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of ideas, not enough time to work on them. That was always the problem. One of the reasons people used to shoot so many videos while they were at conventions was because that was one of the few times they got to get together. Yeah, but it would have been a fun one. It would have been worth doing. We just literally couldn't make it happen. But if I ever did bring the show back, there would definitely be a few moments where I would want Anthony to revive The Obscure for a couple of videos, even if I had to like buy him another wig, you know. Yeah. Well, ideas, you have a million of them and there's so few you can actually make happen. Sun was it's on a He-Man kick. Yeah, I wonder. I don't know what he's doing today. I know he's doing better than he was during the YouTube days. Let's see. I wonder if his channel's still up somewhere. Oh, yeah, it is. Yep. Yes, he is. Yes, it is. Hey, everybody, let's take a trip down memory lane. Back in time, 9 years ago.
Since the dawn of time, man
and woman
has found a need to communicate, to express, to plaster his proclamations across the walls of his town. He
or she
made strange, scary scribbles that imitate sound, silently scriven from their pages of papyrus. But as time moved on, as civilization advanced, more people were needed to decipher these symbols, so the push for mass literacy began. It was time for humanity to visit Letter People Land.
Come and meet the letter people. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
Educators and institutions across the globe have toyed with various methods of teaching children how to decipher those strange symbols we call the written language. In 1972, Elaine Rice Wyman and Rita Friedman utilized a technique I call the fuck it, let's use puppets method. This is a very common procedure in children's edutainment, as most kids are prone to listen to an authority figure that happens to be mostly felt and yarn. Perhaps it is because they are secretly terrified of these soft creatures, or terrified of the adults who parade around with effigies over parts of their bodies.
Ron, they were looking at some dirty pictures and they wanted me to look too.
The children laugh and obey the puppets because they do not want to anger their googly-eyed tormentors. Or maybe they just think the puppets are cute and relatable. Either way, this bit of psychological abomination brought us the Letter People. For those of you not familiar with this series, The Letter People must sound like some strange 70s low-budget pseudo-horror film about a cult of misfits. You're almost correct in your assumption, but rather than being shown in dark theaters and creepy...
All right. Now, I want you to imagine this guy in this scene. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. You are... It is fucking up. Why is it not showing? I wonder why it's not showing up. Do they have some newfangled technology? Newfangled technology not allowing us to see? Oh, Oh, shit. Looks like it. All right. All right. All right. It's okay. It's okay. Got it. We can do this. We can do this. We can still figure this out. Hold on. We got this shit. Okay, that did not work. Try it again. Re-import this. Whoa. Man, it didn't even want me to fucking window capture. Come on. Official tour 92. Damn it. Oh, they don't want me to do it. Okay, all right. I didn't realize we had the technology to do that. Let me double check. Maybe it's some sort of other weird bug. Nope. It fucking knows, baby. Hold on. There's other things I can do. You just criticized the damn puppet. Tell you what, while I figure this out.
Drive-ins. This circus of psychedelia was broadcast on PBS stations across the country, originating from KETC in St. Louis. As you may notice from this footage, every letter is represented by a strange and rather crude-looking puppet with associated sounds like munchy mouth and wonderful wink. The consonants are men and the vowels are women, because apparently women are two-faced and confusing to the mostly male population. Yet I always wondered why Mr. Y wasn't hermaphrodite or androgynous. At least the girls would have one more character to choose from when dressing up for the school's Letter People pageant. Oh yeah, we dressed as letter people. Even though the show was on for only 2 years in the 1970s, it was on syndication throughout the 80s and early 90s, so people in my generation could experience the Letter People firsthand. Just imagine that kid in the 80s confusion when he heard that Mr. T was a letter person.
The name is Mr. T. First name is Mr. Middle name is that period. Last name is T.
Back in the day, we were also issued a series of classroom books. I actually have one of those suckers right here. Alpha Land. Not to be confused with various generic sci-fi novels. It is a simple book with simple words, with simple plots for simple minds. And it contains pictures like this. That's right, Mr. L, Mr. S, and Mr. D were very influential here. You can see that all the letter people have a very dynamic and often surreal appearance. What is going on with Miss E? Is she doomed to walk the earth as a contortionist or an upside-down hunchback? And Mr. R is frightening. He looks like the Terminator if the Terminator had a brain full of rubber bands that were constantly spilling out. The stories involve scenarios like Mr. B receiving a gift. Is it a ball? It is not a ball. It is flat. A ball is not flat. Therefore, Socrates is not a ball. The book also contains gems like this. Miss O is in the bus. Miss O jumps up and up and up. Miss O will not sit still. Miss O lifts the parallelogram. The parallelogram falls on Miss O's hand. Miss O sits still. Didn't we accomplish a lot there? What do you mean you'd rather run with Dick and Jane? Dick never got accused of domestic abuse. Slaps? Mr. V slaps? Mr. V is bad. Did Mr. V stop? I can stop him. It ends up Mr. V was actually just clapping to music. Or so Miss O claims. She's always in a state of surprise and shock, so who can tell when she's lying? How many episodes of Cops do you know that end like this? You may have noticed by now that this reading program has its shortcomings. While it stresses phonics to a heavy degree, it does not teach any actual language skills. But that is okay, because most kids who watch this program already know how to read. How else would they have found Letter People Land and not wandered into something terrible like a slaughterhouse or Raleigh, North Carolina? And as I mentioned before, a large part of this program's success is the "oh my god, puppets" factor. With the popularity of this program, you might be wondering why it hasn't been revamped or resurrected. Well, it was in the early 90s, and it was gut-wrenchingly awful. The characters were redesigned and suffered from 90s-itis, a disease that inflicts bland political correctness and sucks the fun from your sunshine. For example, Mr. X was no longer all wrong, he was different. That kid in the corner, twisting her head around and vomiting blood, is not all wrong, or an abomination of nature, or possessed by the devil. She is different, and she shall be respected as such. Also, the new Letter People look like Pit Pat from Mr. Show.
Pit Pat! A magical pansexual, non-threatening spokes thing!
Junk food references were removed from the new characters. Cotton candy became Colossal Cap. Delicious donuts became Dazzling Dance. Lemon lollipops became Longest Laugh, and Violet Velvet Vest became Vegetable Vest. Because too many kids were getting fat from eating Velvet Vest, it was time somebody took a stand. Personalities were also altered. The rough and rude Mr. R devolved from ripping rubber bands to rainbow ribbons. And Mr. B changed from beautiful buttons to boring benign beige bourgeoisie. They too had classroom songs and books. That title does not match that picture. That's better. On the sunny side, at least this drudgery did not have a television series. Speaking of television series, we'll take a closer look at the Letter People show next time.
My friend Jack eats your
O is for oral sex. I'm just pointing out the obvious.
Come and meet the Letter People. Come and visit the family. Words are made of letter people. A, B, C, D, follow me.
but the picture has a mustache.
The age of television and home video saw many attempts at teaching literacy. Many of them failed.
Learn to read with Mrs. Phipps and Smoothie.
One of your stars just died in the opening credits. You're not off to a good start.
Well, boys, I think boys and girls.
Should we do a second take? No? Okay.
See there, I think it's time for class, and here's our student. What did you find?
Monkey eggs.
I do not like that thing. Puppets are for handling, not for wearing over your head, which I can see clearly through the costume. So it all comes back to quality. And I'm not even talking about production value, but in how much originality and creativity you pour into your final product. And to reach that level, sometimes you need a little inspiration. Now, I'm not accusing the makers of the Letter People of being on drugs themselves, but there is no doubt that they were directly inspired by the drug culture of the time. And there is no arguing that the singer of the theme wasn't 5 miles high.
Come and meet the Letter People.
I'm pretty sure you can hear the water bong in the background. Actually, something that has always made me laugh is the green kid at the front of the line. He is hauling ass. Look at him go. All the other kids are just merely skipping, but he is serious about reaching Letter People Land first. No time for a smile or a mouth. Oh wait, he's just running from his doppelganger. What is Letter People Land anyways? Wikipedia describes it as a dark and featureless place populated by strange people and creatures. Apparently, Letter People Land is a Samuel Beckett play. Fortunately, these have coherent plot lines, and the stories are much improved from the books. For example, here is Mr. N at the library.
Everyone wants to hear the story, so please be very quiet while I read to you.
Wacky hijinks ahoy!
My dear, there's lots of traffic today. So much noise. Why, it isn't traffic at all. It's you making all that racket.
I'm sorry, but you see, I can't help it. I'm Mr. N. Every time I hear a word that starts with the same sound that starts noisy nose, my noisy nose makes a noise.
It is the curse he lives with.
Oh, I can't go on.
Why not? What's wrong?
This word, I can't say it.
A word that starts with N that she is afraid to say? What could that be?
It's...
Well, lady, if you didn't want to say that word, then you shouldn't have chosen to read Huck Finn.
Nurse! Nurse! Nurse!
Beyond simply introducing sounds, the program also explained those anomalies in the English language, such as K and C having the same sound.
Ever a day without problems. Today it's C and K. Who's gonna know which one of us is starting a word? Cotton candy and kicking both have a K sound. One of us has to go, and I think it should be you.
You can't tell me to leave. You're not in charge here.
Whoa, cool down, Mr. K. Why do you sound like Marvin the Martian anyway?
It's most confusing.
So let's ask the vowels for their point of view. How about it, Miss A? Which vowels does C and K stand next to?
Yeah, Miss A.
The letter girls and I have been talking it over, and we've decided that Mr. C and Mr. K will have to work it out themselves. We really don't care who starts the word.
That is such a woman's response. Come on, letter girls. Show some backbone. Don't let yourselves get pushed around and objectified and auctioned off like you do in the next scene.
No matter what you say, E and I will always be with K. But he's being greedy. He wants to stand next to all the vowels.
Mr. C is not a one-vowel kind of guy, and you might even find him in bed with the letter Y.
But I'm still the only one who can make the K sound before E and I, as in keg.
Keg, it's party time. As you've witnessed, all the letter people have associated sounds like horrible hair and noisy nose. But what about Mr. X? He is all wrong. No, seriously, that is his name. I suppose it would not have been wise to introduce children to xenophobic xylophones. In the book, he is a wacky, mixed-up character with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg. In the show, he's a serial killer.
I really didn't mean for things to go all wrong. Someone's just gotta help me. I'm so tired of being all wrong X.
He's also Jimmy Stewart for some reason.
My whole life has been all wrong.
And here was this big 6-foot rabbit leaning up against a lamppost.
And he's accosted by Humphrey Bogart.
You're the one who's been making everything all wrong.
This is turning into quite a production.
All right. Here we go. Here we go back. Okay, so imagine this guy in this scene. All right? All right, you with me? Yes, Scatter Darkly. I was talking about how one of the ideas we had very early on was the idea of getting together with The Obscure and doing a Scanner Darkly. Yeah, the idea for this bit was that Horror Guru was gonna come in because they were like sharing a room or something, and then fucking the Obscure just forces him into the shower.
I looked him up.
Let's see, where is
Institutionally incapable of not shutting the fuck up. Bring it! Shut the fuck up!
No, proctology.
$80 bill.
Sitting alone in front.
I'm leaving. This place has become unsafe.
No, hey, Frick, no, come on. You're a bro, man. Stick around.
this was gonna be me. This is gonna be Count Jackula.
Bears.
No, I just saw it inside, and I just thought, just bring it along with me.
Same with this.
You ready?
Huh? Yeah, what do you want? Come on, Hammer. Shut up! Make a move.
Don't like it. Okay, if you guys are gonna kill each other, I'm splitting.
0, 9.
And I just some death. About a foot of. Fuck! I'm happy.
He doesn't kill anybody.
Our tax dollars at work like this. Our every waking
Oh God, Alex Jones. Back before he was like the worst man on earth.
Time to realize that we're being enslaved. Uh-oh, it's our tax dollars at work. Protect us from ourselves. Hey guys, I used to be one of you. Stop selling out your own species.
Spring.
Let's see, where
I'm
is
happy.
I just saw it.
Got something for you.
Streets, can't you figure this out? Look around you. Look how far
Back when he had hair, baby.
wasn't meant to live like this. Our every waking
And to yourself, you just bought a large quantity of downers and took them with some cheap wine. The planning part had to do with the artifacts he wanted found on him by later archaeologists. He had spent several of Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead and an unfinished letter to Exxon protesting the cancellation of his gas credit card. At the last moment, he changed his mind on a decisive issue and decided to drink the pills with a connoisseur wine instead of Ripple or Thunderbird. So he set off on one last drive over to Tiny's Liquors, which specialized in fine wines, and bought a bottle of 2001 Azalea Springs Merlot, which set him back almost $70. Instead of quietly suffocating, Charles Freck began to hallucinate. The next thing he knew, a creature from between dimensions was standing beside his bed, looking down at him disapprovingly.
You're gonna read me my sins? It's gonna take 100,000 hours.
Your sins will be read to you ceaselessly in shifts throughout eternity. The list will never end. The sins of Freck.
Charles Freck wished he could take back the last half hour of his life.
8-6 in the first grade. Theft of fingernail clippers. 8 p.m. Theft. You did knowingly and with malice punch your baby sister, Evelyn. December. Theft of Christmas presents. 1 million lies. Destruction of
1,000 years later, they had reached the 6th grade, the year he had discovered masturbation.
Percodan. Vicodin. Cocaine.
Charles Freck thought, at least I got a good wine.
Oh, man. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own jokes that we never, like, fucking did, so you'll have to excuse me. Good Lord. Yeah, it is weird because like he's the same guy and yet he's not. He's like a worse version of it. This is actually something that's been like kind of bugging me for the last like, ever. How fucking how we seem to either turn into a better, different, or worse version of ourselves. Like, I'd rather either be better or different. I definitely wouldn't like to be worse, and it's interesting, right? Because you could see when a person becomes a worse version of themselves, you can tell that something has gone wrong. You can tell something is bad because all of a sudden they become very conservative. Like there's this conservative tipping point that if you are enough of an asshole, you just become a conservative. You go from wherever you were, be that left of center, wherever. And heaven help you if you were already a conservative, because then you just become a fascist. Then you just become a motherfucking fascist. And roids, maybe. But I've known plenty of people that I didn't take roids who, like, all of a sudden just became like a piece of shit. Like they were always like kind of, let me put it this way, they would sometimes be on that line or be near that line, but like eventually they would just cross over. And I never really understood how that happened. And I don't know if they do either. Like, that's the bitch of it. I don't know if they understand what put them on that path. I don't know what puts a person on that path. Because when I think of like the worst version of myself, like as dark as it can get, as dark as I can imagine, is the only way that starts to make sense. But I've got to push it. Like, I'm not close enough to that line. I don't think I'm close enough to that line that I'll just casually walk over. I have to really try. I have to make some massive changes in my life. Or some massive changes would have to happen to me, and I would have to push it. I couldn't just lose the Countess. I would have to lose the Countess and then choose to be an asshole. You know what I mean? Grief alone would not take me over that edge. It would have to be grief and a conscious decision to actually be worse. Like to somehow take revenge on the world around me. Which is not a state I can sustain even in the best of times. Like, eventually I'm going to get tired and pass out. And when I wake up, I'm not going to be thinking about that shit anymore. Hang on. Getting a cigarette. Getting two, actually. Yeah, I went the opposite, more conservative libertarian when I was in the Ozarks, became more liberal living in Thailand. Yeah. But like, the only good thing about being conservatives when you're young is that you have to change and grow out of it before it takes hold. Yeah. So what? Why do some people, when they get older, make that change in the other direction? Because I haven't gotten more conservative as I've gotten older, but I have gotten grumpier. Don't get me wrong, I was always kind of grumpy. I was always grumpy, but like I got grumpier. And I could definitely see some moments that made me look more conservative because what it meant to be a progressive or a liberal had changed. as it does. It'll do that. It does that. If it didn't, it wouldn't be progressive or liberal. But it's that whole like thing where it gets down to take revenge on the world around me. That is what this is. People raging that reality, everyone around them won't bow down to their every whim. Yeah. No, I suppose, but I just don't feel like the world owes me that much. I feel like reality owes me my allotted time. However long or short that may be, that's what I'm entitled to. How I spend it is up to me, and anything that happens within that period of time can be fair or unfair. But the universe owes me, the world, life, and nothing else owes me anything more. Less and less against what they've known, so they fight against it. Yeah. No, like here's the thing. I kind of get that, but at the same time, I don't get it. Like, I get it as a concept, but like, I always find myself going, oh, wait a minute, hold on, I just figured something out. I was about to say, but aren't there things that you love? Oh, wait a minute, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. They just they feel like they have no love, that there's no love for them in the world. Huh. Huh. I just figured it out. Do you believe in love for real or not? Because it strikes me that the conservative mind and heart is probably a little less open to it. Not that can't change, but like your reaction to it helps determine how that goes. Yeah, it explains the demonization of empathy, right? They're afraid of love, or they feel like they can't have it, and so they hate it. Sour grapes. Because I guarantee there's a real thing going on in their head that they cannot explain. Like, there's a real thing going on in their head that they cannot explain. And there's an answer. There may not be like an answer in Gestalt that makes sense, but there's going to be an answer for every individual that makes sense. Even if it's dumb. That's the thing about emotions. Sometimes they're stupid. Sometimes the answer is really dumb. Sometimes, as John Waters says, sometimes it really is just because you didn't get cha-cha heels for Christmas. No, hating requires way more energy. But what it it feels safer. Hate feels safer. Love involves vulnerability. It's not the only thing that it is, but if you can't be vulnerable, you can't love. Well, then they're more mentally broken than I thought, if that's the case. See, everything that we're going down this line of thinking is proving that there's, in my mind, is proving that there's something to that statement. Because I do believe that they are utterly broken. That doesn't make me forgive them for what they've done. But it is, I believe they are utterly broken. Like, you have to be utterly broken to look at the world in the state that it is and go like, kids should just suck it up. Are you fucking insane? It's worse than when I was a kid, and that was already barely tolerable. But it's worse now. It's not better, it's worse. So you want to say, like, suicide rates went up as violent crime went down. What the fuck? No, it's a horrible world that we've made. You know? I don't know. Well, no, I don't know if anyone's born broken. But I do know that the world breaks people. It does break people. Yeah, my aunt fell down the right-wing rabbit hole after the death of her husband at 50-ish years. It makes sense to me in this context. Yeah. She's probably actually mad that she's alone. And she got told that the prayer against that, having to feel that kind of pain, is Trump. Because look at him. Nothing bothers that guy. Imagine living your life being abused and concentrating all your anger against people who never hurt you. Well, yeah, because the people who hurt you are dangerous. But that anger and hate got to go somewhere. You got to do something with it. Can't turn it against the oppressor. That would be crazy because they're oppressing you, right? They'll make things worse, right? And to that I say, nah, fuck him. Hate the oppressor. Like, fucking hate the oppressor, you dipshit. Can you not come up with ways to fucking defy them? Oh, you probably can't. Oh, they probably can't. Like, my emotional reaction to having doors locked on me was to learn how to open locks. To this day, I am still fucking flabbergasted how many... Check this out, by the way, whenever you're walking around a neighborhood. When you see a door, particularly a door on a house, see whether or not you can see the heads of the screws that put the lock into the door. Because the side of the doorknob that has the screws is always openable. Because you can always unscrew it. That shit's supposed to be on the inside, so only you can unscrew it, and they can't get to it. Now, that's not strictly true, but it is definitely a step ahead. Staying a step ahead. Security's all about staying a step ahead. It's not about not getting robbed. It's about staying step ahead against the next person. You don't have to outrun the bear of fucking infiltration. You just have to outrun the next guy. I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you. Being alone scares people. It does. It does. It's scary. It's painful. It's painful. And I suppose if you spent a lot of your life making people go away in the best of times, when it's the worst of times, there's nobody there for you. Because why should there be? Why should they show up? You've been a fucking You've been a fucking asshole for all the rest of the years. Should they show up now when they just because you need them? You didn't show up for anybody else. Maybe you think that cuddling up, butt kissing the oppressor will raise their station. I think they believe it keeps them safe. Like, because remember, when the oppressor turns on them, they act like they are mystified. Like they did not see that they didn't even think that possibility was on the table. Whereas the rest of us are like, of course that possibility is on the table. Of course that possibility is always on the table. The rich guys always cheat and have 3 aces in their hand. Of course that was always a possibility. Why the fuck didn't you see it? But they didn't. I don't think they did. I think they were like, but wait, I made all the entreatments. I said all the right things. I believed what they told me, and I still got screwed. I think that's the mentality. I really think that that's the mentality. You know, they're trying to appease. These are people who try to appease God by going through the motions because they think going through the motions is the same as actually living it. And they don't know what to do when they get to, when something points out that no, it's not the same. It's not the same at all. And everyone around you knows this, but you. So it's the old, I don't think leopards would eat my face saying. It's closer to, I prayed to the leopards that they wouldn't eat my face. Why did they eat my face? I had the magic rock that kept the leopards from eating my face. Why didn't it work? You know, and the rest of us are like, because the fucking leopard doesn't care. Why would it care? Well, I was raised my whole life to believe that this would work. Well, it didn't. But I hated people because they didn't believe that this rock would work. Well, it didn't work. But, and the ego can't fucking face that. The ego can't face that you've bought into a system of, completely bought into a system of behavior that has left you out in the fucking cold because that's what it is designed to do. No, your daddy didn't love you. I mean, haven't you ever noticed how broken those families are? Utterly, utterly, utterly broken. Oh, you're breaking up the family but not talking to us anymore. Oh, no, I'm taking the out. I want to one day experience love, so I'm getting out of this family. Because there's no way, you're not finding it in there. You're not going to be able to find it in there. You can't actually get to a point in your life where your love doesn't matter. Isn't that horrifying? There's a great line in, there's a great line in, I think it was Angels in America. You know, guy's dying of AIDS and his lover is leaving him. And the guy goes, I believe you. I believe that you can't handle this, and I believe that you love me, but your love is worthless to me. Ooh. Ow. Like, that should sting the most. Your love is worthless. Your love is worthless. I've met some people that were like that, actually. It's like, I don't care if you love anybody. Your love can't be worth very much. Luckily, that's rare. I believe that that is actually rarer than true love, but it does exist. And I think what a lot of people forget about true love is that 50% of true love is about you. You have to be capable of it. And not everyone you're going to meet is going to be able to reciprocate. But if you're incapable of it, you're never going to find it. I know, cold-blooded, you know. Sometimes the truth is like that. Sometimes truth hurts. Sometimes it sets you free. Sometimes it hurts. I do believe that the truth does set people free, but I also believe that it often hurts. Not always, but often enough that you notice, right? Like, I'd be an idiot to say otherwise. Yeah. Not capable of love. Ooh. Put themselves in a position where love cannot penetrate. That's probably the more accurate way of putting it. Putting yourself in a position where love cannot penetrate. That sounds like a fate worse than death. That's a fate worse than death. Yeah, the truth sets you free if you're willing to receive it. Yeah. Still hurts. It can still hurt, but if you're willing to receive it, it's like shots, right? Do shots hurt? Yeah, they hurt. There are things you can do to make it hurt less, but it still hurts. Well, this is why the Buddha says that pain is unavoidable, suffering is optional. Yeah. It's making me think about all those times someone said, geez, Jack, you're way too defensive. I'm like, too defensive? You're fucking picking on me, you fucking piece of shit. I looked up an old bully on Facebook and found one. I just blocked the account. Didn't say nothing. I'm just like, no, I'm just blocking this person right off. I don't need to see whatever this guy does on my feed. I don't care. There's my forgiveness. My forgiveness for you is that I try not to care about you at all, even to spit on you. That's my forgiveness. Is unless you do something today. Now, if you do something today, I don't think that's going to go the way you want because there ain't no teacher around. And the cops don't count. Oh. Landlords upstairs have a friend staying with them, and they have a puppy. They have a doggy, and that doggy gets really lonely. In fact, that dog is howling right now. I don't know if you probably can't hear it, but I can. Poor puppy. Poor doggy. It's not Massimo, though. Massimo does not. If Massimo is lonely, he just comes down here. Yeah, forgiveness is a complex thing. It's a lot of time. Takes a lot of time. And it feels like you're letting people get away with something. But if you let go of that, that's forgiveness. You know, but I always rely on my own final judgment, which is, no, I'm not helping you. No, you don't get nothing from me because you took so much already. Fuck that. I'm not giving money to a guy who robbed me for like 4 years every day. You don't get that. You don't get what you're after, you know. Oh, yeah, I guarantee it's separation anxiety with the poor puppy. Yep. Fun fact, Reagan, Thatcher, and the Queen are all dead. Yeah, but it's the ultimate fairness, right? You die, they die. I'm probably going to live long enough to see Donald Trump die, and that will be amazing. That will be amazing. That will be a great day. Yep, they're still dead. Still dead. Can't buy immortality. You know. Although I did have a fucking police don't want forgiveness, they want you to forget so you can do it again. Yeah. That's why you never forget. Don't forget. Forgive and forget. How about just forgive? The shit that you did in the past, I'll let that go. But let's not get this twisted. Anything you do from here on out, I'm going to judge you for pretty hardly. That doesn't sound like forgiveness. Well, that sounds like a you problem. Lizzie's in a casket. Yeah. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. I ain't forgetting shit. Until I'm like, unless I become like dementia-addled, which case I'll probably forget a lot. Yeah, there is a likelihood Biden will outlive Trump. You know? Man. Oh, yeah. There was something else that I was like thinking about. Let's see. Looking up old bullies. That was a bad idea. Concept of forgiveness. The concept of forgiving but not forgetting. Forgetting, that's too much. Like, my opinion is I can forgive, but you got to change. This goes one of two ways. If I forgive you, one of two things happens. I never talk to you again and never deal with you again. Or you change. That's it. That's the cost of my forgiveness. I'm either completely not in your life, or you change. I've had one person do that, change. I've had one person change. I've had one person legitimately, absolutely change. And I feel lucky that I got to watch that. But what else was I thinking of? What else was I thinking of? Oh, what was it? It was just there. I was thinking about it all day. Let's see. This inability to allow love to change you, leading to conservatism. Yes, Massimo? Wow, it's fast. Fuck. I think it's gone. I think that thought is gone. So let's change the topic, since apparently I can't remember what I was going to fucking say. So, as some of you know, I have been reading through the rule book for the game Heart. Yeah, sorry, it's backwards. So, like, Heart, which is a TTRPG. Oh, what's a Massimo? Oh, Massimo is my landlord's dog that sometimes comes into the apartment. He's a little dog. There are two dogs that live upstairs. They're roommates and theirs. Their dog is named Massimo. That's what a Massimo is. So I've been reading this TTRPG because I'm really into tabletop role-playing games. You know, like, y'all know this. The Devil's Games. So I'm like really into them. And I'm really impressed with how well written this one is. Like, this one won a lot of awards, and I see why. Like, I do legitimately see why. Because it's very well written. Like, it should be a gold standard. This should be the gold standard of, like, explaining your weird ass fucking RPG setting. Because they explain this so well, and it is such a weird idea. It's the idea that there's like an underground, there's an underground city beneath another city that is this endless dungeon that for some reason, yeah, here's a good picture. Like, this is the city above. This is Heart. This is the city underneath, and it's known as Heart. And Heart wants to make your fondest wish come true, even if it kills you. You know, and I'm impressed with Heart because I've been going through so many RPG books that explain their setting badly. Really badly. I don't know what kind of dog Massimo is. He's a good dog. That's all I got. You know, I only really see, like, I only know a few types of dogs. Good dogs, bad dogs, huskies, Labradors, golden retrievers, schnauzers, poodles, whippets, Great Danes. Yeah, if it doesn't fall under that list, I don't know what it is. Massimo does not neatly fall into one of those. I think he's some sort of spaniel. Maybe. He's just a good boy. Yeah, he's a good dog. Forget Meta Dungeon. We got Giga Dungeon right here. Yeah, actually, the way they separate the dungeon is actually really interesting. Because they give you a bunch of locations that exist within Heart, within the world, within that dungeon. But they don't tell you how they don't tell you specifically how they connect. Meaning the game master is supposed to be the one that makes that up. Like, this zone's next to that zone. The game master determines what zone is the one over there. But it has a lot of monsters, and it has a lot of... The zones have, like... What would you call them? The zones have attributes. But I haven't gotten to the point where I understand what all the attributes are or how... Or what exactly they mean. But they do have attributes. And the attributes are things like Haven. Like, okay, this is a place where people have settled within Heart, within this mega dungeon. So there's like a settlement there. It's a little less dangerous than the other places. Yeah, it's a little like Keep on the Borderlands. That was probably part of the inspiration. They did another game. The game they did before Heart was called Spire, which is quite literally the city which is above Heart. Like, they made Spire first and Heart second. So, like, the city above is called Spire. The city below is called Heart. And that one was interesting. The thing that's interesting about both Spire and Heart is they're both games about doomed characters. Like, that's an adjustment that's something that I'm interested in, because I'm like, how do you get people to play a game where their character is doomed? Or almost certainly doomed. Not guaranteed to be doomed, just very likely to be doomed. Is there a city below the Heart called Bowels? No, but there are, like, zones, like, I think it's called the Tunnel of Meat. Things like that. Oh, no. It's called, excuse me, was it the Harvest Bazaar? Yeah, I can't find it off the top. Like I said, I haven't finished reading the whole thing yet. So we're not entirely there. This is the game that I was talking about the other day, where one of the character classes is that you are you are full of magic bees. And you command the magic bees, the bees that nest in your body like a honeycomb, to do things. So they got a Hardee's in there. I would have would have gone with Arby's. They have the meats. Has anyone seen the Neverland, Oz, and Wonderland RPG books? What was it? Oz? Was it Oz or Wonderland? Yeah, it was Oz. I saw one of the Oz RPGs. I hated it. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. Heart is very much like that. You can't avert your fate, but you could choose how you meet it. You can rise to meet it. Can I take a dog with bees? When I bark, I shoot bees at people. Those are a race that you can play. Like, it's one of the things that's interesting about Heart is that the races or the ancestries, there are really only 4 of them, but they're like, if you want to add more, you can, because the ancestries don't affect your stats. Do I plan on coloring my hair again? Yeah, I do, actually. I might go with red. Might go with Pillar Box Red. Behold the bees, Dr. Bees. What's this? An encounter with orcs horrifically devoid of bees? My arms full of bees should solve this. Oh, you've been red for 10 years? What system does Heart use? Heart uses its own system. It has its own. It seems to be relatively simple. Like, you mainly use die 10s. You get 1 dot for, oh God, what is it called? You get one die to throw just because everyone gets to throw at least 1 die 10. And then you get another die if you have a skill, and another die if you have, what's it called? A domain. If you have what is called a domain, which is like, if you have a domain over something, like, for example, like, the domains are basically, they correspond to the location attributes, like Haven, like I was mentioning Haven. So if you have the Haven domain, if you're in a Haven area, you get an extra die. If you have a skill, you get an extra die. So you got 1 plus another if you have the skill, another if you have a domain, and another if you spend your character resources. So you're rolling up to 4 die 10, and there are times when your die could be raised or lowered. So for example, instead of rolling die 10, you're rolling die 8, which is bad. Or instead of rolling die 10, you're rolling die 12, which is good. Yeah, it has very small dice pools, and the difficulty number is always the number you're trying to get over. So as long as you get 1 die result that is equal or over the difficulty, you succeed. Would I ever run a Heart campaign on Discord? I might, actually. Like, this is a game I might want to check out, A lot of other games I've seen, I'm like, I have no idea how I would run this. Like, but this one is pretty... This one like I said, the writing's very good. It explains itself very well. So it's like, oh, I could actually... I don't know, like, how much people would enjoy the game, but I know it's runnable and playable. Like another one that I picked up that I haven't really cracked open yet. But it looked interesting enough was the Cowboy Bebop role-playing game. I just got this today. Just got it today. And hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's fucking good. I'll be able to tell you more once I've cracked it open. And another thing that I want to check out when it comes out, which will honestly be kind of soon, is the Shinigami Tensei role-playing game, the tabletop game. I'm definitely curious about that one. But that one comes out that doesn't come out for a few days. For those of you who don't know, is it class-based or skill-based? Which one? I don't know about Shinigami Tensei, but from what I can tell, Cowboy Bebop is not class-based. It's entirely stat-based. The main thing seems to be... The main things I can tell is that you have your stats, and your stats, you have 5 stats. Dance, rock, blues, jazz, and tango. Those are your 5 stats. Blues is your empathy. Jazz is your charisma. Rock is your physical stats. Dance is your dexterity. And tango is... No, I think jazz is like your mental stats. Tango is your charisma. You also have a resource called Groove. That's all I know about the game so far. Whew. But yeah, I'm very, very curious about the Shinigami Tensei role-playing TTRPG. Very interested. You know, and I definitely want to Tango Rig. Hey, what's up, Jimmy Jam? But yeah, something about the Cowboy Bebop gang having stats like tango, rock, and blues, you know? I think blues is your ability because you have this thing in this game. I know you have this thing in this game called memory. Called memories. You choose or write down some key memories and then fill in the details. And I think blues is your ability to cope with your past. And if you see the show Cowboy Bebop, you're like, yeah, because every time someone's having a flashback, blues music is playing. Yeah, they did a Cowboy Bebop role-playing game. And I liked it because I picked it up because I looked through it and I'm like, it doesn't have normal stats. Like I was telling everybody, it has stats based on types of music. You know, and the main stats are rock, which is your physical shit. Blues, which I'm pretty sure is like your ability to cope, your like emotional ability to cope. Jazz, dance, and tango. Those are your stats. And you have two resources called groove and rhythm. And I'm like, what the fuck? How the fuck do you play this goddamn thing? And hopefully they did a good job. Hopefully there's an answer, and it's not one of those games where it's like, well, this is cute, but it sucks. We'll find out. You know, I'll find out eventually. They've done Gundam like tabletop games. I think the closest one to... I don't think they've ever done an official TTRPG. Let me check. No, there's no official, like, Gundam TTRPG, but there are a couple of TTRPGs that are meant to mimic it. A recent one is called Lancer, but I have not heard good things about that game. Oh, I'm sorry you had to sell your fucking thing, your Scream Mask collection, man, but I hope you got a good price for it. No, I actually disagree. Battletech is not set up for the type of mech combat the Gundam is. Like, for one, Gundams fly around. That already takes us out of Battletech. You know, but there were a couple of them. One was called Mechton Zeta, and Mechton Zeta was pretty good at giving you a combination of the mech fights and the role-playing. Then there's another one that was really good for using if you wanted to do a Gundam game called Big Eyes Small Mouth, which was the anime role-playing game. And it was supposed to be the anime anything. You know, if you wanted to do an isekai, you could do that. If you wanted to do Gundam, you could do that. If you wanted to do Record of Lotus War, you could do that. That was the idea behind Big Eyes Small Mouth. And I actually was in a couple of Gundam games that used... I was in one that used Mechton Zeta and another one that used Big Eyes Small Mouth. I way preferred Big Eyes Small Mouth. But if you really need mech stats, like you want to get really fiddly in detail with the mech, Big Eyes Small Mouth doesn't do that. That's not what it's interested in. What it is interested in is, oh my God, you know, like we must rally our friends forward and move and defeat the evil army. And like, you know, it's good at the melodrama. It allows for a huge amount of melodrama. Whereas Mechton Zeta doesn't really. But but Mechton Zeta is much better at the fiddly little mech parts. You know, like everything your mech can do. Lancer, unfortunately, seems way too complicated. Let me see if I can find a...
artillery at you.
Like, Here, let me just play you a bit of the Quinn's Quest on Lancer.
Humans have been obsessed with robots since the dawn of time.
Is there a Votom's tabletop? That I believe. Actually, now you mention it, I think there is. Yes. Armor Trooper Votoms. Yeah. Yep. That existed. It's way out of print. But it existed. Oh, it was an Artal game. Oh, okay. Yeah, there were a lot of attempts to make like mech games, but they never really took off. And honestly, I think that's because when you get right down to it, what people really like about things like Gundam is the melodrama. Like, you want the mech rules to be good enough that you know how to fight. Know what I mean? But they can't be so overbearing that you lose the romance of it. Does Macross have one for its own franchise? No, the closest we got is the Robotech one. Yeah, well, like, fucking dude, like, Mike Pondsmith was way into anime. He was way into 80s and 90s anime. I'm actually, like, he was one of anime's big evangelists, actually. Like, crazy so. Like, there are some times when I'm like, there are some times where I wonder, like, how much anime fucking Mike Pondsmith got into the rest of the country because he's from Oakland, the Oakland, Berkeley area. And one of his favorite places to go was Japan Video, which is a store which is still open, by the way. It still exists. And that's where you would get like all his anime VHSs and shit. And sometimes they were bootlegs. And I wonder how much of the 80s and 90s anime bootlegging community how much he was involved. Because I cannot imagine he wasn't. Yeah, Gundam's very character-driven. Like, the robot's important, don't get me wrong, but it's super character-driven.
What if I were to tell you that you...
Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry, before we do this... Because Jimmy Jam is here and we're talking about, like, fucking anime. Hold on. See if I could find. Yeah. Oh no, it's the slow one. We don't want the slow one. We need the hype one. Yeah, it was. It was. San Francisco was. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. God damn it. No, you're just gonna have to fucking live with me going through memory lane on some of this shit.
Gigantor, the space-age robot, is at your command. Gigantor, the space-age robot, his power is in your hand. Bigger than big, taller than tall, quicker than quick, stronger than strong, ready to fight for right against wrong. Gigantor, Gigantor, Gigantor.
It's good shit. That's good shit right there. Let's see. I wonder. Fuck it. Yeah, you old taco know this one.
Robotech.
All right, for you purists out there.
Will love me tomorrow 闇を切り裂き飛びゆく先は遠く輝く青い星マクロスマクロスマクロス
See, they gotta have the Gundam thing. Ah, Mobile Gundam suit. Oh my god. Okay, what was one of the other ones? Oh yeah. Some of you remember this. Gundam Boy Band Go. Yeah, exactly. Okay, what? Yeah. Oh yeah, Duo Maxwell is my favorite too. Let's see. No, that's Hellsing Ultimate. We need the OVA trailer. Because the OVA trailer was fucking sick. Yes, Josh, we never going to acknowledge Outlaw Star. I don't know, man. But that was pretty fucking obvious. Also, you cannot tell me this is not phone sex.
インテグラ、オーダーをよこせ。マイマスター。
すべての障害はただ罪、押しつぶし、粉砕せよ。サーチ&デストロイ、サーチ&デストロイ。
Yeah. The 12-episode series kind of ended on a weak spot.
せいぜい薄暗がりおっかなびっくりついてこい。
See if I can find. Oh, whoops. Yeah, this was one of my favorite anime trailers ever.
Before you go to sleep, say your prayers and hope for pleasant dreams. When darkness falls and all is quiet and peaceful and you are most asleep, the undead awake. Late at night, the undead prowl and search for blood. No one is safe. There is no way out. There is only one hope. One man who rides alone. He is both good and evil, darkness and light. He is the vampire hunter. In a world of hidden dangers, in a time of great unrest, one imperfect man battles the darkness alone. A place of beauty, a time of evil, a lonely girl, a sweet seduction. Outside, outcast, he is her only.
Oh my God! Have you never seen Vampire Hunter Bloodlust? It's amazing.
He has their power. He knows their secret. He seeks an answer. He must keep moving. He is the only hope for survival. Close your eyes and pray.
I just love the way he fucking says that last line.
Close your eyes and pray.
Like, this is absolutely, Vampire Hunter is what I thought Ravenloft should have been. You know, that's what Ravenloft should have been. It should have been like that. But I don't always get my way, right? I don't always get my way. Oh. You know, I always envisioned like Ravenloft is like, you know, like vampires everywhere fighting in atop clock towers, you know, like shit like that. Yeah, the interesting thing about here's the other thing that's really interesting about Vampire Hunter Bloodlust. It's actually the original language it was put in was English. So if you watch it and you're like, man, the dubbing on this is amazing. No, that's the original. That's what it was originally animated to. Yeah. Ravenloft, the module is based on Hammer horror films. I thought when they did the setting, it should have been like Vampire Hunter D. I know. I hope they live together happily in space. I know exactly what you're talking about, Kat. I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh my God. It was so good. It's so good. Yeah, you see the Japanese trailers, it's English with Japanese subtitles. Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the problems I have with a lot of RPGs is I don't feel like a lot of them go far enough. Like, I don't think a lot of them actually get stuck in with their weirdness. Like, we've always been like a little bit ashamed of the weirdness, as hobbyists. There's always been this tendency to be a bit ashamed of it. But the thing is that the really weird shit that works, that's the fucking shit that sticks with you. That's the stuff that's powerful. That's the stuff that's amazing. Yeah, I have a copy of Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust as well. Although I think I have a DVD, not a Blu-ray. I need Blu-ray that shit. Excuse me. Eyelash fell into my eye. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah. Even though Gamma World as a game never quite worked, the Gamma World concept is a solid one. That basic idea is a solid one. I don't own any of the novels of Vampire Hunter D. I don't. I know that I think it's Viz Communications that publishes them in English. Might check them out, but I got a lot of reading ahead of that. Like, I've got to finish Roadside Picnic, the Stalker novel. I got to finish reading Heart. I'm going to start reading Cowboy Bebop, and then probably Shinigami Tensei comes out in like 3 days, so I'm going to pick that up. Like, it's hard to fucking explain to people why. Wait, what is this? D. It's hard to fucking explain. 80s, 90s, and early 2000s anime was like, it was a different beast. It was a very different beast. It was very different. It was special. Oh, you want me to play the G Gundam theme? Yeah, 80s and 90s anime had a lot more blood, it was a lot more adult. It was a lot more adult. And I actually get really annoyed when people poo-poo that shit as adult. Oh, this isn't actually adult. This is puerile. Fuck you. Okay? Alright? Fuck you. Puerile, yeah. Yeah, after the crash, they played it way safer. That's definitely true. Gundam. No, it was the collapse of the Japanese economy. All right, because I put that on, I'm putting this on. Do I think North American horror films has hit a valley yet? Like, what do you mean a valley? Well, like, Western horror is not doing badly right. Well, I don't know about financially, but artistically, it's not doing badly right. Oh, this is the theme to DOA. Takeshi Miike's Dead or Alive. Which is probably my favorite Yakuza movie. Yeah. Anime had never been a stranger to, like, teenage protagonists, but, like, the explosion of, like, harem animes is because they were safe to make. Yeah, but yeah, the thing that really caused the anime crash was the crash of the Japanese economy in general. So they started making America more catered towards what was then the growing anime market. And that was harem animes. Then it was isekais. You know, they stopped making the animes which were a bit more experimental. On an economic standpoint, is there any way for Japan to have avoided the economic crisis? I don't think so. Actually, I don't think so. I think they hit the limit of their economy based on their population. They had reached, because all of it... Okay, so here's the thing about the Japanese bubble economy. Stop me if you've heard this one. They kind of went from... Is there a cat coming in? The door's open. They kind of moved from a consumer-based economy to an investor-based economy. And investor economies always crash. They always crash. We are currently in an investor economy, America. That's why shit keeps crashing. You have to do a lot to keep an investor economy from crashing. A lot. You have to keep a lot of plates in the air. And you have to have a very big economy to support an investor economy. America's very big. So it's been able to keep an investor economy going for much longer, but make no mistake, it will crash. It will crash hard. It almost crashed hard in 2008. Yeah, they were doomed from the start. They were doomed from the get-go. They literally did not have the tax base that could keep an investor economy going. They just didn't have enough people. Now, America had enough people to have kept it going up to this point. But eventually that's going to crash out too. And probably pretty soon. Hey, what's up?
Nothing. Just making faces.
Oh, okay. Yeah, investor economies lead to failures. It leads to a lot of failure. That's one of the things that is really, 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 really frustrating about it. It leads to a lot of failure. It will lead to successes, big successes. But can you hold out that long? Now, America has been able to do so far, but I think it's about to start dropping the plates. There's no way it doesn't. With the current administration in charge, basically what they're doing is they're throwing up more plates at the economy constantly. Because make no mistake, every fucking thing that has been built up to this point that is currently being knocked down has been made to support the economy. Other things are secondary. No matter what anyone believes, rent control is an attempt to prop up the economy. Because if you don't have enough people able to live in your area, your economy crashes no matter what. You can't have an economy without people. And specifically, you can't have an economy without people without money. Yeah, there's a limit to growth when it comes to people. That's why they're all these assholes are so fucking focused on like birth rates and shit. America's traditional solution to that has been immigration. Keep the economy going by allowing more people into the country because North America has the space. It literally has the space. It has so much space, it doesn't know what to do with all of it. So that's how we keep our population growth high. But it started running right up against white supremacy. Started running right up against that. And people started to feel entitled. Entitled to success, which is something you were never entitled to. You cannot be entitled to success. One, it's never going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Two, if you try, you fuck yourself. You know, make no mistake, our current political situation is all about vibes and feelings. It really is. There are the people who have the bad vibes, and there are the people who are trying to make the good vibes happen. Oh, whoops! I turn the volume back on.
It's all over, Elon. System's all out of juice. We had a good run back there, didn't we, buddy? If only we had just another source of power. Elon, stop! Don't do it! Listen to me, damn it! It's suicide! What the hell are you doing, Elon? Stop! You're overpowering the system! Oh, God! It's too much, Elon! It's too much small dick energy!
Oh, whoops, that's the same one. I meant to go to the other one.
Morning, Elon. This is Mission Control coming to you with your daily weather report. Buckle up, blue checks. Our boy is in charge and we're in for a shitstorm of salty snowflakes. High chance of debris. Radiation over 500. Just another day trying to save the world, eh, buddy? Wait, is that a miracle of mankind? My God, he found it. The very instrument of our salvation. Houston, the rogue module has been detected. Repeat, he has located the Starlink module. We stand before the crest. Be careful, Elon. Of a critical moment. It's all up to you now. That will decide everything. Debris incoming! You're in another shitstorm, Elon. Do it, Elon! There's only one thing. Elon! That must be done. Do it now!
Freedom activated.
Elon, you saved us. Look up, buddy. You made it after all. What the hell are you doing, Elon? Stop! Turn around, Elon! Turn around!
It's okay. The ballerina is a reference to Black Swan. You know, a movie about the pursuit of perfection leading to self-destruction. Eh? Eh? Freedom activated. Oh, God. Oh, God, they're going to ruin everything. Ruin everything. Well, oh, that's what I was thinking of. The end of everything. Oh, yeah. You know, it's becoming more and more obvious that they just want the rest of us to fucking either work in their factories or die. And I'm kind of the opinion that, and I was thinking about that. I was just letting it sit with me for a little bit. I was letting that sit with me for a little bit. I kind of like did the George Carlin. No, I did the Mexican got on boots. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Say you kill off the rest of us and make those who live work in your factories. Okay. Sure. And say that gets you to Mars. Okay, sure. And say that allows you to colonize space. All right. If this what the technological singularity means, then I hope we burn the motherfucker down. I hope we burn the motherfucker down. You know. I will say it just like Metropolis did. Without the heart, there's no communication between the hand and the mind. That is how society works. And there is not enough heart to go around at the moment. There isn't. So the whole edifice is collapsing. And they decided they want to make it collapse because they're wrong. They're not going to get to Mars. And say they do. All right. Humanity goes on in space. Sure. Then what? Then what? You know, like that's actually my question at this point. Say mankind gets into space and all that shit. Then what? We just go from planet to planet, using up its milling out and using up its resources. Humanity goes on. No point. No real point other than survival. You know. I don't care if mankind goes to space. I just don't care anymore. You know, if this is what we have to do in order to do it, fuck space. Fuck outer space. Fuck all of it. You know, if we have to let these dipshits be in charge. You know? And I want to think that there's some sort of great karma out there, but there's not. There's not. They could succeed. They could win. All right. Congratulations. You saved mankind. Yay. Just not into that. Just not into that anymore. Yeah, if we could terraform Mars, we could terraform Earth. But That's not what they want to do. That doesn't get them slaves back. No, this world will collapse. Of that, I am pretty sure. I don't know what will replace it. Maybe we'll go to space. Yay, and Elon can just he'll be correct, and he'll dance around and be happy, although probably not. He'll be just as miserable as anybody. Who saves mankind from what? I don't know. Race mixing, I guess. Maybe I have my marriage annulled. By the state, I mean, because we're technically two different races. Yeah, save mankind, but sacrifice what made them human. Oh, well. That's what pisses me off. Just the of it. Maybe we'll get a race of big titty Amazons, the next wave of humanity. I mean, that'd be cool. I'd be okay with that. The Green Wall land reclamation efforts in Africa? No, I have not. Whatever world they're making is not a world that I would have wanted. So I'm not going to cheer for them. It's why? You're making a terrible place. You're making the world a terrible place. Why would I like that? Oh, but we're going to get to space. I'm not getting to space. There's nothing in this for me. Saving the human race. Oh, you need to think less selfishly. It's not all about you. No, it gets to be about me a little bit. That's the rub, bitch. I'm part of the human race. It gets to be about me. Yeah, it's a world with very limited scope. Yeah. Now, this empire will collapse. America will collapse. I don't know exactly how or when or what shapes it will mutate into as it does. I don't know if Elon's dooming humanity. I think he's dooming a lot of us. I think he's dooming a lot of people. With their whole oh, well, we've got to. Fuck you, Elon. I don't care if you save the world. I got a better idea. How about not? Why not? The more I look into people who believe that they have to save the world, the more I believe that superheroes are bullshit. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll still watch a superhero movie because I like the fantasy. But the idea of a person with that power doing the right, with that kind of power doing the right thing is a fantasy. Maybe you'll find one guy that'll do it in 10,000 years. Every once in a while there's a Buddha, there's a Jesus. But that, not so much. I know I'm not there. I'm not there. Someone of humanity lasts long enough, another one will come along. Another person who is like that will come along. Oh, I can't hate Superman, the character. But I don't believe that he is a real person that could exist. I just don't believe it anymore. There are more Punisher cop cultists than there are Spider-Man. Yes, exactly. Exactly. That's definitely true. And can't be Spider-Man all the time. Can't be the hero all the time. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, I like the fantasy of the superhero. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I do like the fantasy. I just don't believe that there's a reality to it. Because the more someone has to save the world, the more corrupt they become. We're tricked into thinking that saving the world and humanity is the greatest thing we can ever do. Bullshit. Hardcore bullshit. Hardcore bullshit. The better and most noble thing that you can do is work on yourself. Is to understand your emotional world. It's not necessarily a sexy answer. Oh, I'll believe in Superman when he's on the screen. I can believe in Superman when he's on the screen. And I can believe that that's what we want. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. And we could use more James Gunn in a universe of Dick Snyder. Was it Rob Schneider? Derp de der. Zack Snyder's Derp de der. Yeah, saving humanity is not really the point, is it? I have kind of stopped. I haven't stopped believing in heroics. But I have stopped believing in superheroics.
When Invincible finally returns to Earth after the...
Yeah, I can't sacrifice humanity to save humanities. Can't do that. Can't do that. All right, I gotta pee, so I'm gonna do that. Ugh. Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah, leave the door a little bit ajar for the dog.
Leave the door more jar for the dog because the dog does not know how to get by a door. Does not know how to get by an open fucking door. He is a dog of much love, but very little brain. Oh. You know. Yeah. Don't fix the world, fix yourself. Trust me. Trust me. This is the way. This is the way. Uh Man. Huh. Well, I think a lot about my solution to things. You know, being kind of a bastard and also being a little bit tired of all the bullshit of existence. I don't know who Professor Layton is, so don't know if I would sword fight him. I probably wouldn't sword fight anyone. I'd probably just punch them. I don't know if I'd succeed, but because I don't know how to put it, but like, I try to live life in a way that gets me what it is I actually want. You know, and what I really seem to want is for my relationship with the Countess to go on as long as possible. Because even if she dies before I do, I'll know I'm capable of love. And I don't see any higher cause than that. I really, 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 really don't. I've tried. Now, I have shorter term goals. Now, that's a like the work of my entire life, right? That doesn't stop until I drop dead. Like literally it's my entire life. Who knows how I will end up? Hopefully, it won't be too bad. One of the reasons I try to practice Zen, I'm bad at it, by the way, is to always put myself in a mindset where I don't need to suffer over the pain I'm experiencing. And that involves allowing yourself to feel an emotion. I've gotten better at it over the years. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Good job, Jay Tilton. You want the last people out because you're making sure everyone else got out? No. That's heroics. That's heroics. Heroics is someone before yourself. There's no being bad at Zen, only the doing. Hopefully. If the attempt is the thing, then I'm doing okay. You know? Then I could say I'm doing okay. But I try to let myself just feel the emotion. You know? Because we all have this thing where we don't necessarily want to feel the emotion. You know? It hurts. It's uncomfortable. We don't want to do that. But like, really honestly, the more you do, the more resilient you get. You get more, that's how you get more resilient, by actually experiencing the emotion. The more you avoid it, the more fragile you become. You know. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some times when like the pain is so great, you've got to distance yourself. You just can't do that forever. You can't do that forever, and you shouldn't do it forever. You know, you can defer it. You can postpone it, but you can't avoid it. And honestly, that shit accrues interest. It accrues interest, so be careful. Ooh, hang on. This is an interesting. This is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
There is a teacher in 6th grade who noticed that I was disruptive in class. I still have the report card from 6th grade where she says less social involvement and more academic diligence is in order. She was not the first to critique my social energy. 6th grade, I'm 11 years old. I kind of already know what I'm interested in. As I said earlier, the universe had called me from age 9. All my book reports were on cosmic topics, and she saw this unbridled energy. She came to me after school and handed me a list of classes for adults taught at the American Museum of Natural History's Hayden Planetarium. And these classes were on the universe. And she said, you might be interested in this. I took it home, showed my mother, said, yeah, that's kind of cool. I know you like this. Let's do it. I went and took those classes. They're after school. They're at night. So all of a sudden, my social energy in the class was sort of sucked away and was devoted to these other activities that further enhanced my understanding of the universe and simultaneously made her class easier to manage. There is a teacher in 6th.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, Jay Tilton, that's gnarly. That's still gnarly, though. Jack, I got a question. You think the reason why Ivan the Terrible went crazy in life was because he suffered from dementia? Possibly. I actually don't know. I have no idea. He was not. Ivan the Terrible was not a historical figure that I was super interested in. Oh boy, man. Hey Jack, do you remember what you think this? What was the worst Roman emperor? I don't know. I don't know. I don't have a lot of respect for any of them. I don't know which one the worst was. Nero was pretty bad. Other than that, I don't know. Probably about time. For me to sign off, because I'm starting to like stare into space and shit. So, I was going to say the best worst is Caligula. All right. Until next time. Oh, hey, Scatter Darkly. The worst Roman emperor is the one where the historians didn't write about. There's a few Roman emperors where we know nothing about them because historians at the time just erased everything. Oh, geez. I didn't know that. I doubt we'll do that with Trump because, like, but it's nice to think that we will. Nice to think. All right. All right, everybody. Until next time. Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. I remember, Hail Satan. I love y'all very much. It's good seeing y'all. See y'all on Monday. Y'all check out. Y'all check y'all. I gotta have a little nap before we do some vlogging a little later tonight. And then you'll get to know about like 3 movies that we watched. One of them being Ash, and the other being The Rule of, was it The Rule of Jenny? The evil puppet movie with John Lithgow and fucking that guy. The fucking dude from the dude from fucking Pirates of the Caribbean that's not Johnny Depp. Oh man. Yep. Yeah, I definitely need to have a little lie down, a little tired. Oh, by the way, before I go, Scanner Darkly, I did manage to. I found this on sale somewhere, so I did manage to pick up the Cowboy Bebop game. I'll let you know. I'll let you know how it is. But I apparently gone on a bit of a TTRPG buy-in binge, and so that collection's starting to pile up. And I'm planning on getting the Shinigami Tensei tabletop game, so it'll keep piling up. No, not Orlando Bloom. Not Orlando Bloom. The old guy. Played, I think, Captain Barnabas. What is that actor's name? Fucking hell. Okay. The Rule of Jenny Pan. I'm not going away until I. Jeffrey Rush. It's Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow fucking trying to kill each other in an old folks' home. You will get to find out how I feel about that movie in a few days. Until then, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. And remember, Satan and I love you all very much. I will see you on Monday night. Good night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Same Satan time, same Satan channel.